we'll record this one. Okay, so we'll get started, and if he hops on, we can catch up. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here too. Share that. Okay, so I think you see your question here, right? This is the question you kind of asked on the screen.
Yep.
So the question is can you do it without the curly braces? And
so could you wrap it all into one curly brace? Like, I understand Jason works it. I don't know if you'd have to do quotations on each side of the colon, but I was wondering if you can wrap it all, like all the topics, into one curly brace.
No, okay, so so let me go ahead and let me try to mimic that. So if you're talking like this, let me go ahead and do this. And then do something like topic and HTML, and then are you saying like do another one over here, like where you do
So like you would put the comma in there and then go down and put, I don't know if you'd do another topic. Yeah, something like that.
no, so the format for JSON is that each of these, this is a key value pair, so this is the key, this is the value, needs to be
Okay.
matched like that. Now you can do and then you had CSS. So that process, I don't think you can even do that. So I think I can do.
Put it in square brackets.
Oops, not square bracket there. Like that. Now this creates what's called an array of that topic. So then you could do that, and then you could also do another one with music. But I guess my question would be, what are you trying to do with it? Because what's going to happen here is that you have multiple items for that one thing. So to access it, like if I wanted to print out that item, let's do this. Console log sample 0 topic 1. And then if I wanted to run that, what am I in here? App.js. Do this. App.js. So what did I get there? I got JavaScript. So this is the first element of the sample, this one
Which
here.
is the topic. Yeah.
So topic. And then the second one, the 0, 1, this is 0, that's 1 would get me JavaScript. So if I want a music, and I think I can do this, I think I can do topic, and that should get me the same. Actually, let's do this. Let's do music to see if we get a different result here. So if I run that, oh, then it's not topic, then it's music. Oh, I shouldn't need music. So actually, so if this stays 0, that's probably what I want. And then if I run this, music topic, should it give me? Yeah, there it is. So this is the 0 element of sample. This is the 1 element of sample. I thought you could reference it by the name. We can Google it and find out, but we can definitely do 0 and 1, and then these are 0 and 1 across. So if I wanted to put another one in here, and we could do book, and this is book 1, book 2, I'm misspelling it, but who cares, right? Book 3 and book 4. Then I could do book, and I could do 3 there. And that should get
That'll
me,
throw you an error. So you got to change your sample, that one in the square
oh,
brackets. You got to
yep,
change that.
yep, you're right. So this is kind of confusing because this, you shouldn't need to know the name of that if this is telling you which row. Well, okay, so actually I do got to show you something else. And I think I know what's going on here. So the problem is that I can also do this. And I can do album, square bracket, white, one, comma. That's why it requires you to name the right one, because JSON normally has more than one element per curly brace.
Okay.
That's why I need to know which one I'm trying to get out of it. So that would give me album, let's do album 0 here. And there we go. So that's why we have to tell it which of these items are. So we're telling it
Okay.
which of these sample ones we want. And then we're telling it which one we want out of that piece of it. Yeah. So I don't know. There should be a way. I don't think JSON does it. If this was I don't know, because Mongo will let me do that, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, I think that the answer to your question is that you can put them in with the square braces, multiple items. How you access it is something like this, where this is all of the items, and you've got to tell it which of these you want, and then which element in here. So, because you can put more than one, I can actually even do another one here, where I can do color, and then I could do um, like that, and then I would have the option to do color on that one.
Okay. So what if you ran a GET request for sample? Would it fill all those out or?
Well, you wouldn't have necessarily a GET request like that. You would have something that would return it. So let me do this. So if I copy this across and I made an endpoint, it would send back. Let's see if I grab this sample 2, and then I put sample 2 in there. That would return all of this items. It would return book with all the numbers, album with all the numbers, and get with all the numbers. So let's go ahead and actually build this and try it out. Actually, I think I have web in here. I got one right here. Let's go ahead and put this over here. Whoops. I said take that out of there and come back over to web. Paste that in. We'll make another GET request here. And this endpoint will make a test, and we'll call this one test, and this will return X, and that should return sample 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that. Let's go ahead and node. Well, I got to put the I have the express stuff there. Okay, nope. That's web.js. That should start up there. Let's go ahead and get Postman open. Okay, so test all set there. That's a GET. Oh, do I have more than one test in there? Did I mess that up? I do have more than one test, so I got to make sure I do test JSON. Save. Gotta kill that. Restart it. I'm going to show you a trick for that. Okay, so let's go ahead back to Postman. So let's make sure test still works here. Oh, well, I returned everything for that one. So it returned. Oh, wait, why did it return that? Do I have 10? I thought did I not save it? Oh, I did save it. Oh, because I changed. Okay, that's it. I changed a different one. So yeah, so test returns sample 2 0 1 2. So it returned this whole thing. If you look
Yeah.
back at the JSON, it returned book, album, and color, all of them. And if
So
I,
what if you changed your endpoint just to sample?
okay, so I would have to make sample. Let's
Because it
take this.
isn't that what you made there at line 7? You said let sample equal. Isn't that the endpoint that you made was sample?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and sample. Sample
Okay.
return all of this stuff. So if I want to get all of these back, that will be the right thing. I'm going to go ahead and stop this. I'm going to show you a way to start this so I don't have to keep stopping and starting, and that's called NodeMon.
I used NodeMon. I installed it. Oh, it is so nice.
Good. So I'm glad you found that one because it's a huge time saver. So I don't have
It
to.
was in the weekly video, so I was like, "Oh, cool, let's do this."
Good, good, good. You're already there because yeah, it gets a little annoying otherwise. Okay, so let's come back here. So now if I send this, so there it sends me my topic, my music, and my also. So they're all of them, all three of them. So I get to pick
Yeah,
what I want to send back, if that's what your question was.
yeah. I was like, so yeah. So if I did like you did there, topic on mine, and then I listed out HTML, JavaScript, just like you did there, and then music like that, I could do it all under one curly bracket, which is what I was trying to do because it's all under topic. And I just wanted to combine it. Okay, topic is this, and these are your JSON, you know, that's your key, and then your properties is those other ones,
Yep.
the HTML, JavaScript, CSS.
Okay. So the normal format for JSON, and this would be considered non-standard. I can't say I've ever seen this structure for it, but a normal JSON format would look more like this, where I
Yeah.
have items, and then I would have, like maybe I would have topic here, item here, and then, the various components that go along with it.
Okay.
So this is probably more of the standard. If I had a lot of topics, then I might do, I mean, if I want, I guess the craziest I might see would be something like this topic, and then it would be um, water bottle. And then instead of here, I would have item, if I get this right here. So this would then be a square bracket here. And then down here, I might close one of my square brackets and then also my curly brace. Did I do that right? Okay, so let me think about this. So I've got, and this is going to have to be a curly brace first. And then I got an array of all of these. So let's do plastic. So all the plastic items, and this would be water bottle. Let's do just a water bottle, recyclable true, quantity 3. And then another plastic item might be wrapper. And then another plastic item might be a toy. And then let's just stop there. So toy, take that one out. And then I would stop my array, I would stop this thing, and then I'd have to stop my item in there, which is here. And then I would stop my square brackets. I think that's all I would need. I don't think I need that there. Why is this saying I don't have that? I do need this. It doesn't like that. Why is that? So semicolon, plastic, square bracket. And then when I close my square bracket there, I would just do my closing brace. So I don't need that. But then I need my square bracket for that one. Okay, so this matches up with that. This matches up with that. I don't know why it shouldn't be giving me an error. I've got to figure out where I've got a mismatch somewhere. Okay, so all those line up. That lines up with the square bracket. Then I need to have my topic one close. And then I need my square bracket to close. So why is this not matching up? Oh, I know what I need here. I need items. There we go. Now, those are all my items. There we go. That's the matchup. So I could do something like this, where I have the topic and then I do the sub items of that. So if I want to return items now, oh, UUID is not defined. Oh, because I gotta. So one of the things you're going to learn is you have to do another thing. Let's do a control C. There's another thing you're going to have to install eventually. It's called the UUID. Well, npm install. And I'll show you actually what that does. Doesn't take long to get it installed. And then I have to make an object up here. Constant. And we're going to do version 3 of UUID v4, require UIUID. This needs curly braces, not square braces. And that should fix my errors down there. Go ahead and restart this. What am I missing? Not find module UUID. I just installed it. Just installed it. Thought I just installed it. Normally this error means that I did not install it, but let me go ahead. What did I just install then? Oh, okay, let's try installing it again. npm install UUID. Says it installed it. Okay, I don't know what, must not installed it 100% the last time. So now I did that for, I want to return sample, or no, I want to return items. It's over there. Let's come back over to Postman and test. So there we go. So now these are all plastic items, and I could do multiple topics inside of here. So I give it a title, and then I mix it with my array of all my plastic items. So that's
Okay.
kind of the more common, complex way you would see it. And then you might have paper. You might have another one down here. So if I like, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but if I just went ahead and copied this, copy, I put a comma here, and then put that, and then I can name these are all recyclable papers. And
Oh, okay.
could have gift wrap. I could have copier paper. I could have hat. I don't know. Go ahead and save that. And then when I run it through here, now I have all my plastic ones, and then I have all my paper ones.
Okay.
So JSON can get pretty complicated, and this is way overkill for what you need for this class. But when you get to the Mongo class, which is the one after this one, this is what it's going to start looking like. Mongo is all JSON stored information, and it's pretty complicated. So if let's see if I can find, oh, here we go. Let's do this. Sample Mongo JSON file. Let's do covers. I don't know, this might be really simple. This is a pretty simple one. Let's do complex. Let's go back here. And let's do sample complex. Schema. Here we go. Let's see what that one looks like. So here's a more complicated one where you've got IDs, you've got logs, you've got curly braces within curly braces. I don't know if this one has any square brackets. I don't think so. Let's go back and see if we can find one that's got some square brackets. Except for cookies. So here's one that's got A colon, it's got things in there, and it's got its array inside there, and it's got B and stuff. So it's got square brackets, it's got curly braces and curly braces. So this is what your Mongo database stuff is going to look like. So you got a head start.
Well, it was just one of those things. I was just like, huh, let's toy with this. And then I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm going to ask, is there a way?
Well, that's why we do these things. It's a perfect opportunity to ask something like that. And the fact you already did NodeMon means that you're really exploring. So that's good if it was in your class, in the class and covered it. So
yeah, it was in one of the videos. I was like, oh, okay. I followed right along with video on how to do it. And I was like, and then I used it. And I was like, oh, cool. And then in the video it said use JSON view for Google Chrome. And so I installed that extension. I was like, oh, that looks way better.
Nice. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to show you tonight was folder structures. So right now, this is all in one file. So let's go ahead and do a little separation here. So I'm going to make a new folder here first. And I'm going to put in, new folder. We're going to call it practice. We can call it whatever you want, but we'll go ahead and call it practice. And then I'm going to copy everything in web. Copy this, and I'm going to put it into a file in practice. So I'll make a new file inside of here. And we'll call this one testing.js. Paste everything into there. And in here, it's going to do a couple minor things here. So let's see here.
I noticed at the top you have your like express and all that set the variables.
Yep.
And then is that better to have it as variable, or would it be better to have it as constant?
It actually doesn't make a difference. I mean, unless we're not going to change it. So the better practice. It's one of those things. So most of the stuff I've done in the past, we didn't have access to constants. So, but if I name those all as constants, that's fine. But actually, I want to do two things here. So app or web. Let me go ahead and change these all to.
So I use like variables, something that can be changed later on because it's variable. Constant is something you don't want to change. And so that's why I was asking. I saw yours was variable. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and normally I wouldn't change any of this stuff up here. I might change port occasionally. So I mean, if you're running on dev systems, you might have a different variable for a port. But for stuff we're doing in here, constant makes sense. In the olden days, we changed everything with our different environments we had. So it just became a little, I don't know. It's one of those things that I've probably picked up some bad habits, which we'll get to eventually. So
I just saw that and I was like, I wonder if there's a different, because I think of constant as you don't want it to change. So
right. No, you'd be right on that one. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to move a lot of this functionality. I'm going to take all of this stuff out of here, except for the listener at the bottom down here. I'm going to take all of those things out. And I'm going to tie a file together. So in testing here now, this is no longer an Express app. This is now going to be what's called a router. And a router is just a collection of things that I want to run later on. So we'll go ahead and we're going to call this one, we'll just call this one Fred, something like that. I don't have a port number because this does not have a listener in testing. If I scroll down here at the bottom, I'm going to take the listener out of here because this is not the listener. This is just going to be the thing that does stuff. So I went ahead and instead of doing an express item here, I went ahead and made this a router. I took out my port information and I took off the listener. But what we did in the math class is we need to export the functionality so that I can tie it in to the other file. So I'm going to have to export module.exports, and I'm going to export Fred. And Fred is this router that I have.
Okay.
So now I'm starting to separate out my different components for the code I'm going to run. And this will make more sense when I finish off the next step here. So let's come back over here now. And we're going to tie these all together. So here, I'm going to make an object of my practice. So I'm going to go ahead and make another constant. And we'll call this one items. And here we're going to require, and we have to give it a path now to this testing one. Since it's not in the same folder, I'm going to tell it that I want to start in the folder I'm in. So I want to start where the web is here. And then I want to give it a path. So I got to tell it I'm in this folder, the practice folder, and then I'm looking for testing.js.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to use the JS extension. I'm just going to use the testing JS, and we'll automatically look for the JS extension on that one. In fact, we're going to say pull in content from practice.testing file. So that's what it's going to do. All of the stuff that's in here now, I have access to, but I need to create the actual part that is going to physically listen for it. So I'm going to have to create app.use, and I'm going to use express.json because we're going to pull some JSON here. Whoops. But I'm also going to app.use, and we're going to give it a path. So I'm going to give it a path for /Rob. That's my name. And we're going to list the one we created up here, which is items. And then we should be good to go. So now this is going to give me all the functionality that's in here, including all the listener, all the different endpoints, the gets, and all the various pieces of here. So there's no listener here, but I am exporting it out. So let's go ahead and save this. Save both of these files. App is not defined. I did not create app. I did create app. App use. What did I mess up there? App is not defined. In testing. Where is testing? Over here. Oh, so for this file, I don't have an app, but I am going to. What do I name this up here? Item router. What did I name it up here? I named it Fred. So I'm going to create a Fred down here. And I'm going to, at this point, take out all of these apps. And all of these are going to then be Fred.
So if you just put Fred at the top like that, you can take out all the rest, and just as long as you have the .post, .get.
Yep. So if you notice,
Nice.
it's like this Fred, there's nothing after it. But this one, so it's Fred.get, 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 Fred.post, Fred.post. So those all go together now. So now if I now if I come here and I go back to my JSON or my Postman and I try to run tests, it's going to give me an error. Because what I've done now is I've told it that to get to all of these things in Fred, I have to use Rob. So now my path becomes Rob in front of this. So I have to come back to here and I'm going to put Rob in front of test. And then I'm going to run it. And there's all my information.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Remember when I talked about the importance of comments? So here's why this is important now. So when I come over here, my endpoint is no longer localhost test. It is now Rob/test. And this one is Rob. And this one is Rob.test. And this one is Rob. And this one is Rob test. Actually, it's not test, is it? It's this one is, that one's test. That's nothing. This is test JSON, because that's that part right there. That's a post one, and this is a Rob test for a post. So I don't necessarily know, when I'm in this file, I don't know that I had to type Rob to get here. When you're working with other groups of people, you might only be working on test.com, and you've always got to remember, oh, I need to get Rob here. So by putting my comment in here, exactly what I need to do, I have quick access. I can come in here and copy and paste now, rather than have to go back and look at the original file to figure out what was the path. Over here, I can have a whole bunch of these.
Okay.
And I could have Tom, or Tom, I could have Mary, and then each of these could have a different file. So if these are all, and I can't do too much here because it's going to break, I comment them out though, but this could actually pull in testing 3, and then this would be items 3, and then this one might be, crazy, and then this might be crazy here, and then this pulls in items 3. And I mean, this is not what you're gonna have to do for any of your homework, but I do want to show you how this can work. Now, you might only be responsible for this file, which means you might not even know web.js exists and how it goes. So you would have to find out what the path is to it, and then you would update your endpoints to the correct one. So then when you're working in this file, nothing in this file says Rob. There's nothing in here that says Rob. No matter where I look, the only thing it says is when I put it into the comments. So that's why I asked that you put in your endpoints here, because as these get more complicated, and not for our class, because our class are pretty simple, but when you get very robust, it's possible you'll see something like that for an endpoint. You'll have a folder structure, and you might only work on one file out of 100. And you don't want to be tracking down all these different endpoints that are in a file that you don't even have control over. So once you get it once, you just kind of put them through, and it makes your life a lot easier. And it also makes the testing persons a lot easier. If they want to test this one, they can copy and paste it with the correct get point or post point. So like if I want to see this one, that's a post. I can come over here, drop that in, change this to post, and it's good to go.
Okay.
So that's why those endpoints are important as comments in there. But you will have to get to this point for your homework where you do move into different files. It doesn't ask you to create folders. So like where I created this folder, I would encourage you to put things in folder, because folder structure is very common when you start doing stuff in industry. You don't, for your homework, it's not required. I might ding you a point if you don't do it, because I just want to remind you. But the correct structure would be to make a folder and then put your files inside of that one. So
yeah, so I have like my week 2 folder, and inside that I actually have assignment folder, and then inside that, depends on how many assignments there are. It's either whatever the assignment name is, be it boxes or whatever. I will have those folders in there also, and then everything for boxes is under that folder.
Good.
Everything for that.
And that, it may seem like it's overkill because you're only putting 1 or 2 files in each folder, but eventually you're going to get to the point where you have multiple files in those folders, and the folder structure makes it easier for permission-based, for access. And then even from a VS Code perspective, you open folders, you don't open, you can open files, but for the most part, you open a folder and work within that folder. So my week 1 has multiple folders inside of here. So for your structures, you have 7 weeks of folders. And if you, I like the way you're saying is you got folders within week one and maybe even folders within that folder.
Yep.
That is the
Yeah.
correct philosophy.
So I like week one, I have week one, then I have an actual assignment folder in there.
Yep.
And then like week one only had one assignment. So inside the assignment folder, it only had the one assignment. But like in the other class I'm uh in the React class, like my week two has two different assignments. One is boxes and one is a to-do list. So I have my assignment folder, but then inside I have boxes and then another folder of to-do. So I have two different folders inside the assignment.
That's perfect. Love it. Yeah, you're setting yourself up for a very easy pathway to get a job. So what is your career aspirations? I mean, I'm guessing you want to get into programming. What city are you in again?
I'm in Weiser, Idaho.
Okay.
It's very small. I'm about hour and a half away from Boise, which is the capital here.
Okay.
And so I have room I could drive, but my goal is like I'm really enjoying the layout. I could lay out a web page. I showed my wife. Funny story. She was against me in school. She's like, "Why? Why waste it? Why waste it?" But then she saw me take a plain white page and turn it into something that's interactive in a matter of like 10, 15 minutes. She's like, wow. And so now she's on me. Get your homework done. Get your homework done. And she's like, you really do get that. I was like, I love it, and I'm not afraid to break my code. It's like, okay, I broke it. Now let's fix it.
So, do you have a LinkedIn profile?
I do.
Let's get connected here. And I'm going to tell you something else that I would encourage you to do is I'm not sure your life situation or anything like that, but you have enough classes under your belt that you could potentially find a paid internship and do something for about 10 weeks in the industry to help you make it easier to transfer over to a job. If that works, no matter what age you are, or your family background or something, the only issue you have is they're going to want you to work probably 40 hours remote in some cases for a job. So I don't know if you're working full time right now. That's usually why students are at Bryan, because they working full time. But if you
I was a well-done firefighter and I blew my knee out in 2016.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Yeah. Okay.
And so school that so I applied for disability. They came back with get a less physical demanding job. And that's hard to do unless you have some kind of school behind you. And so that's how I started the whole college search. And I landed on Bryan University's site because I was like, well, I love programming. So I went into web development, web design. Nope, I'm not seeing me there yet.
I'll find you.
And so I really got into this and I'm loving the heck out of this. Yeah, that one's mine. I haven't got my picture on there yet.
Yep. Yeah. So you're not working then, right? You're on disability.
I'm not working. My current occupation is school.
Okay. So, build out your link. I'm going to connect with you here. So I'll send you a note. Ah, man, I can't tell you. Yeah, so build out your profile and then let me know when you're ready, and I'll market you on my network. So let me go ahead and show you what I got.
Yeah, I've already started with career counselors with Bryan University.
Yep.
And just trying to stay up on everything. And she's like, okay, she wants to work with me on the resume, get that up to date. Yep. She goes, I love your portfolio. My portfolio. She's like, you're one of the few that actually has filled it out.
Good.
And I've been working on the LinkedIn trying to get it filled out. Notification.
Yeah. So let's see this here. Internship.
There you are. Approved.
Yeah. Let's see if we have any internships that are open right now here. So jobs. Internship, Virginia State. Research. We want remote though, so we want to do remote. So there aren't going to be too many right now, but Machine learning, news data visualization, software in turn. Because normally they don't say anything about where you are currently enrolled in a degree. So what are you in the associate's degree or are you in the certificate program or what program are you
I'm
in?
actually in the associate's degree. I'm getting the associates in full stack web development.
Okay, so I would guess you'd be able to work during the summer, legally to work, proficient in one of the stuff. So I don't see Node listed there. Object oriented. Oh, so they do say React and Node down here. Like, see, this is kind of stuff that you would apply for. And just because it's intern, like, I mean, I have all ages of people doing internships because that's my job is to get them internships. And they're like, well, but I'm not going to fit normal. I had a 45-year-old former truck driver that did an internship for Choice Hotels. He was in there with all like, 22, 21, 20-year-old students. He got the job over them because
Oh
he had
wow.
experience. I mean, he's a professional person. He worked, he had a job, he was just changing careers. He said, I don't want to drive a truck the rest of my life. It's too
It,
demanding.
and
And
that's where I'm at. I'm changing careers. I went from firefighting
yeah,
to this, and my career counselor is like, that's one thing you bring to the table.
yes,
Is
definitely.
she goes, and your background in fire means you think on your feet,
Yeah,
and that's
yes.
what people want to see.
Yeah. So like, I mean, they're not a lot here because the unfortunate part is most of the internships for the summer are already closed because they wanted to lock them in. So they start in September. But there are a couple out there and there will be ones that keep popping up as things go. But yeah, like this one here, I would tell your career counselor that you talk to me and that I think that you should look for some internships even while you're still in school. And because you can do it while you're right. You have two classes going on. You can work
Yeah,
20, 30 hours a week remote as an intern and then do your homework at night and get experience. And when you're done, you got that on your resume too. So I would definitely think about it. I'm not saying do it because obviously, again, your life situations, but I don't see the benefit of at least even applying and see if you get a call and practice the interview with them.
yeah. She kind of put through me through kind of a mock interview. She's like, you definitely have done interviews before. With fire, I've done a lot of interviews. So it's like every time you get promoted, you got to do an interview. And she's like, you really do think on your feet. She goes, what happens with this? And I told her, well, this, unless you do this and it breaks.
Right. And let's see if there's anything that's, can I do that? No, written sounds. Actually, this pull up showed me in the future. So like some of these are, we'll say like this one, I think you have to be pursuing a bachelor's degree. We must have pursuing a bachelor's. So some of them will say stuff like that, but then some, this is not a remote one, is it? This is not. So this one's probably not remote, but currently junior. So someone will say you need to be junior, senior. So you would need to look for ones that do not have a specific requirement for it. So this one says bachelor's degree.
As
Anyway,
far as
but
degree wise.
yeah, so
Yeah, she told me I graduate in May with all my certificates, and then next year I'll be a full associate graduate.
yep, and that's perfect. And you'll pick up some really good classes. But I think the fact that you're pursuing, I I would always say you're pursuing an associate's. Don't say you're just pursuing a certificate because you're in the pathway to
Yeah,
get associates. So
I tell everybody I'm getting my associates,
right,
and
yep,
they're like, "Oh,
right. And I'm trying to think. So Boise's too far of a drive, right?
oh, I would drive to Boise for a job. Heck, I used to drive 200 miles every day for a job."
Okay, so let's see what we have because there's tons of tech companies up there.
Yeah, there's Microsoft, there's HP, there's Amazon. There's a lot of things around here.
Epic part-time position. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta take that out of there and development. And then entry level. And I don't want remote. Well, let's leave remote on there. Okay, so R&D, Ruby on Rails, R&D assistant, product marketing manager, development. I guess we want to do React, Node. So our .NET. Take that out of there. So what do we got here? Ooh, software engineer intern web for Yahoo. Now, BS, that requires you to have that one. So front end engineering, Yahoo Sports, currently enrolled as a junior or senior. There's going to be some in here, and Brian might have some contacts also. So I mean, definitely ask them, but I would start, and your personality, your background, your history sets you apart from most of the people. And I think you'd have luck applying. So that'd be my recommendation.
Okay, so I'll look at interns too, because we looked up like just entry level jobs before. She's like, start preparing yourself what you want to do and look at entry jobs, see what's out there. And so that's what I've been doing, and
Yeah.
with her help, I'm gonna get my resume refined.
Yeah, get your resume, get your LinkedIn profile, and then what I'll do is I'll post something on my LinkedIn profile saying former firefighter went back to school and is learning software development with Node and Express and React, looking for that first opportunity. I'll get you some publicity. We'll get you some people looking at your profiles.
All right, yeah, I think I have her on in my thing too, and I have another uh instructor that he's like, I will give you a letter of recommendation when it comes down to it. I'm like, sweet.
Well, so here's the one reason I would sell you over a lot of other people. These every other week ones are not mandatory, and you probably know this, is that out of the year, and I've been teaching this, I think 3 students have taken advantage of it. And I've got great relationship with all of them still. I still stay in touch with them. One of them are trying to get a job in the middle of nowhere, Texas. And unfortunately, we're having a tough time. But I think that people that take advantage of opportunities given to them should be rewarded. And that's why I want to do what I can to help you get where you want to go.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, I had that question pop up, and I was telling my wife, I was like, hey, I got an impromptu class tonight. She's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, the instructor would like one every week. That way, when questions arise, they can get answered. She's like, I like that. So,
Yeah.
she's like I said, she's all behind me now. She's like, do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so get that awesome paying job sitting at home, and you can take advantage of the best of everything.
Yeah, that's kind of my goal. I got to have a less physical demanding job, and well, I'm a gamer at heart. I love gaming, and so sitting in front of a screen doesn't bother me. I love doing things, building code. Man, I have been enjoying the heck out of the school. It's been fun.
And it shows. It shows that you have a passion and you're willing to do stuff like that. But anyway, what else can I do for you? Any other questions pop up?
No, that was it. I was just like, man, there's got to be a way to do this, and for it to show up right, there's not, but that's okay.
Well, I mean, I think we show that there is some ways to do some of that, whether it's the right way to
Yeah,
do it. Like you can do it with all inside of there and then do multiples of that. But this is probably the more structured, recognized format. I don't normally see just a bunch of square brackets like that. So
yeah, yeah. I mean, it does make sense.
right. Okay, well, if anything pops up between now and next week, so next week we will actually go in and we'll be doing different posts. So I think we do the update and delete. We would pull back more complex JSON files, like the one, like kind of more like this structure. We'll talk about the UUID. Oh, I did want to show you this in the thing. So all UUID does is, shoot, what did I? What's the endpoint for that one now? I got to figure out what I did with the endpoint. So that's this one here. Oh, that's not the one I want. Which one do I want here? I want the one that sends back items, right? Items.
Yeah, items.
So that's this one right here. That's the one I have it on post. I got to change it to get. So I was gonna say that's the one I should want. So UUID creates these unique identifier numbers.
Oh, okay.
So that way you have a unique number. When we are doing updates and deletes, you want to have a unique number so that you can pull that specific record. So we'll talk about that in class next week. We'll talk about the folder structure a little bit more, how we did. NodeMon we already covered. We'll talk a little about the JSON format, but we're going to do a lot more with the different endpoints beyond the get and the post. And we'll do more with the post also. We'll send full records back and forth, so you'll see how that process works. So yeah,
Okay.
definitely more stuff to cover. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll have another lab. So I am out, and I'll send this to both you and Luis, I think his name is. Where's the calendar here? So the week of the last week of February, this week right here, the 6th through the 4th, 26th through the 4th, I'm out on holiday. So we're supposed to have our class on the 28th. I'll give you guys the option of doing one of two things, either holding a second class the week of the 21st. Actually, like if this is if this is actually the lab time, actually holding the lecture this week or the 7th. So we'll have to move it around. Or
Okay.
keep the lecture and then have like a 20 on the 23rd, have the lab, or sorry, keep the 21st for lab day and then do it on another day for the 20th. We'll give you a couple different options for it. But the week of the 27th, I can answer Slack questions. I just can't, I won't be at my computer where I can host a live lesson for that day.
Well, that's why I put it in Slack just in case, hey, somebody might see it and shoot an
Yeah.
idea out there. Because I follow along with videos because I can watch them do it and then I'll do it. And if mine doesn't come out like theirs does, okay, what did I go wrong? And I'll go back, rewind the video, go back through it.
And we'll record it no matter what. So Brian said I should record a session, just by myself and just make it available on the 28th. I don't know. I mean, if you're open for a second day or even extend the 21st for an extra hour and do it at the same time, I would rather do that so we can chat about it and ask questions and stuff. But I'll post it in Slack for you and Luis to figure out how you want to handle it, and we'll make it
Okay.
work.
Yeah. My